What is going on, dudes? It's Miles13, and it's 2020. It's kind of crazy and hard to believe, but it's 2020. So I wanted to use this video to talk about what I kind of wanted to do with the channel for 2020, and just kind of discuss, I guess, what happened in 2019. So 2019 was kind of a weird year because the channel was kind of at a stalemate. It didn't really get much bigger, and didn't get smaller really, so it's kind of been about the same mark since sometime last year, I believe. It hasn't really grown. The max we got to was I think we did get to 1,050 subscribers on the channel, and we're down to, I don't know, 140 something. It was interesting because the channel didn't grow too much, which is kind of strange. We had a couple really cool series this year, and a couple finished from last year, being both of the Pokemon Let's Plays that I was very tired of doing and such, and I have a couple more to finish going into next year. But yeah, the new Pokemon games came out, the new Fire Emblem game came out, so those are really, really fun to get into. And I mean, for what I already mentioned this, if you didn't see the Sun and Moon, I don't even know why I said that, Sword and Shield series, I did enjoy the game for what it was, even though it's obviously irritating. There's a lot that was like cut out and removed and all that crap. And yeah, the Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Three Houses, is awesome. I love it. It's a great game. It's super long so far because I finished editing 31 today, and as of recording this, which is the 31st, this will go out on New Year's Day, this video, and then the Fire Emblem video will go out on the 2nd. But I haven't even finished my first playthrough of it, and I have at least like two more, maybe even 3. That's kind of the basics of what happened this past year. Anyways, it was definitely an interesting year, that's for sure, and I did enjoy it in some sense. There were several times where I very much questioned why I've been continuing to do this for a little over 8 years now. It's actually very close to 8.5 years, which is crazy to think about. Because I started this channel in 2011, and I have like consistently been doing this style of like gaming videos and such since I believe it was late 2011, because I started my channel several months before I got my actual first computer. So I did have I think I had another channel before that where I did these little things, because I had an old phone that when you were recording a video through the camera and whatnot, you could actually click, there's a pause button you could click in the recording, and it would pause the capture, and then you could start again, and it would just cut to that next part, which is a pretty cool kind of thing. And I did that to make little silly skits with these action figures and stuff that I had of Pokemon characters. I had this Ash character, a Ho and Ash, and then some other like Pokemon figurines. I don't know why any of those things are nowadays. They probably got given away because it's kind of how things go around here. So I used to make silly videos when it came to that. I don't remember anything that happened. There were several times where the audio actually like did not record while I was doing that, and I never realized it. And yeah, I was also back when we didn't have, unlimited internet, so there would be a lot of times where we'd end up going over the data cap, because I would watch videos and upload videos and stuff, even though I don't think uploading actually affects that. It could be just 40 gigs total bandwidth or something like that. I don't remember. But it's crazy to think how far back that was, and the video I was doing then, and then compare it to what I do now. I do have a list here of things I do want to discuss concerning at least part of 2020, and then other things will be discussed as such when it comes to it. So the first thing I want to discuss is like the next series to go along with Three Houses. So since I did kind of prioritize on Sword and Shield. I almost said Sun and Moon again. I did prioritize Sword and Shield when those games came out, and I did kind of end up accidentally putting Three Houses on the back burner. And another series that I do need to finish, and I will finish, is Conquest Classic, because I do want to finish that. Because I did complete the mission that I had gotten stuck on in the last episode, that I ended up switching to Phoenix mode for that episode to, deal with it, and then I ended up beating it on Classic not too long after. But that's something I am going to finish. I'm going to finish Three Houses. I'm going to do all of the run-throughs, and I don't necessarily know if I need to do another run-through of the Black Eagles one, because of the way I am currently. I decided to side with Edelgard. I don't know if not siding with Edelgard is a different path, because I accidentally did right over that save. So I don't know. I didn't accidentally do it. I consciously did it. I knew what I was doing. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I don't really know if it makes a difference. It doesn't really matter at this point. If I have to do another Black Eagles run, so be it, and I'll go back through and I'll get to that point where it branches, and then we'll go through that last, probably. I had a couple of series that I was thinking that I wanted to do alongside Three Houses after I finish Conquest Classic, and I'm planning on trying to start that up and finishing that series alongside Three Houses and get that done, because there's only going to be a couple more episodes, because I've been doing one chapter per episode. I'm not planning on doing any more paralogs and whatnot. I believe we're on episode 22, and I believe we've done like 21 of the chapters, 22 or 21 of the chapters, so I only have 3 or 4 episodes of that series to go, so we're very close to finishing that, and I will finish that. But after that, I'm going to have a poll up that's going to pop up in the top left. I actually don't know if it's going to be over here, it kind of depends. I don't remember my camera reflects it. Yeah, that's probably the best wording I think about right now. Anyways, I don't know if my camera reflects the image or not, but anyways. So, a couple of series that I was thinking about doing is alongside it are, the first one being the Y Super Randomizer Nuzlocke. Now, if people remember, I did a White 2 Super Randomizer Nuzlocke, which is one of my favorite series that we've done on the channel, because it was so completely mind-boggling, and, well, not mind-boggling. I mean, it was super interesting, and it was fairly difficult, and the thing that became my channel mascot, Flygon here, Power got his start in that series, because it was a random Kricketot that I caught in the Viridian City thing. Well, not Viridian City, excuse me, Verbank, the Verbank complex. It was a Kricketot, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't very excited about it, except for the fact that it evolved very early, so I would get to see what it would evolve into immediately. So I ended up hitting it with a physical move, and it had a rocky helmet, and then it used Thunder on whatever Pokemon I had out front. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna name you Power, just because, you're kind of Power. And then it immediately evolved the next battle, because I switch trained it, and then it evolved into a Flygon. And having a Flygon that early in the game was clutch, because Flygon is really freaking good, if you don't know already. I decided to randomize Y. It took a little bit of finagling, but I was able to do it, and I did make a couple changes, including, I will actually mention specifically concerning this guy here. I made Flygon a Bug Dragon type, and I made Trapinch Bug Ground, and then Vibrava also Bug Dragon. So, yeah, pretty cool. I decided I wanted to do that. I changed a couple typings of some other Pokemon. I randomized all of the encounters and all the held items, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really, really excited, because what I'm most excited for is to find out who will be the new Power, because Power was the Power of the White 2 Super Randomizer Nuzlocke, and then Born to Dream was the Power of the Challenge Lock. And god damn, I actually want to get a tattoo here on my left wrist of Carnivine biting into my wrist and then going down and around. And I haven't yet finished that design, but I want to make that, because it was just that just him surviving the blizzard in Bryson's gym. That's the big moment that sticks out in my head still to this day. And man, it was such a fun series. It was completely different. It was such a difficult challenge lock too. And the second challenge lock, which I don't have in this list. Second challenge lock will be more difficult because I can actually have challenge mode enabled, because Drayano gives you those immediately in black and Volt 2 White 2, or Volt White 2 and then Blaze Black 2. Sorry. Anyways, yeah. So the next series I was thinking of having alongside it being the Sword Wonder Wedlock. So I've done a Wonder Wedlock for every game since X and Y now, since they introduced Wonder Trade, and I'd like to do it again. Yeah, there's not much else I can say. I don't know how. I feel like it's going to be kind of easy just because of the XP share thing. I really dislike that, but I mean, what can you do? And something I'm going to be doing is bringing in some eggs from my main copy, being a shield, and having those available for Wonder Trade instead of some of the Wonder Trash Pokemon. And making the intro for that series is also going to be very difficult because of how the trading animation has changed, and from when the Pokeballs appear on the screen and start coming toward the middle, you can already see the Pokemon in it. And for the past other generations, that was not a thing. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do some finagling, and I have an idea for what I want to do for it, and it's probably going to have to suffice because it's unfortunate, but yeah. So that was about it. I mean, Pokemon Sword and Shield, I did just complete the game. I'm not necessarily sure if that's something I want to do right away, but I'm leaving that option up to you guys. And then the final series I was thinking about doing is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask 3D. So both of the 3DS versions of those games, because I don't really want to play the N64 versions. Yeah, I never grew up with the N64. I was never a big N64 person, even with one of my friends who actually got one in the past couple years, and we played some games on it, even though I'm like really good at Mario Tennis, but that doesn't even really matter. I don't even know if that video's on the channel anymore. I wanted to do one of those because I played Twilight Princess. I really, really liked that game for the most part. Breath of the Wild, it was an entirely different experience. It didn't kind of even feel like a Zelda game, but it was awesome. I loved Breath of the Wild too. Breath of the Wild was also awesome. Maybe we do that on the channel at some point, but we'll see. I'd mentioned, I think, in Twilight Princess that Twilight Princess was my first Zelda game. The thing is, I did not realize that was actually not necessarily the case. This is a special edition 3DS. Excuse me, not 3DS, DSi, that I convinced my grandmother to purchase me forever ago. It is a Pokemon White special one. I have the cartridge here. It's in it right now. I've been playing a little bit on my 3DS. I just put it in there to see if I could get it to run. Now, it doesn't launch any of the apps because I need to replace a part on it in order to get it to do that. But if you look here on the bottom screen, Four Swords Anniversary Edition. So that is actually the first Zelda game I ever played, and I completely forgot that I ever played that game. Because I don't know how or when I got it, because I didn't ever get the Wi-Fi to work on this thing, because I actually think that I had this before I had a computer, so I didn't really have the internet at my disposal to look up stuff, or even really connect this thing to the internet, and I don't really know when I played this game, but I definitely am looking forward to it once I fix the part. It's like the Wi-Fi card adapter or something like that. Well, the Wi-Fi card or whatever it is inside of the actual console itself that I need to replace actually, one of the reasons also I want to do it is I want to transfer some of the pictures that I have on here. Even though they're not the best quality, there's some actually like really important images that I forgot were on this thing and that I got to see recently because of the fact that I got it to actually boot up. It never got past that the intro screen where it says the Nintendo DS thing, then it goes into the main menu. It always flashed after it faded to white. It stayed on white. It just stopped working one day. Anyways, I was devastated when that happened because I love this thing. I loved it. It was awesome. But that's really besides the point. It's not even important. I started talking about like if we should do a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, and then I ended up talking about that thing. So anyways, yeah, those are the series I'm considering on doing alongside Three Houses once I complete Conquest Classic, and I won't start the Wonder Wedlock until Home comes out, until I can transport some of my eggs specifically from Shield in order to trade out instead of some of the Wonder Trash Pokemon being like just Route 1 fodder stuff. So, because I mean, I still have to catch those Pokemon in order to be able to trade them out, to trade for another Pokemon, but in all reality, I don't want to add to any sort of problem. I haven't really noticed a problem yet, so we can cross our fingers and hope that like there won't be so much Wonder Trash this generation. Anyways, moving on from series stuff, I want to talk about the next thing. We'll go over this briefly. If you did not know, I have a second channel called Rio, which is a channel where I've been posting music for the past year or so. I think it's been a little over a year. All of the things on there currently have been cover songs, and if you didn't also know, the channel is linked at the end of the videos, at the end card, as well as the last video I uploaded in proportion to that episode and that video you're watching. So this one will link you to the final version of Take Me Anywhere. And yeah, so not really important, but that's on the end card if you didn't know, and it's also in my like recommended channels or whatever, and then I think it's also linked up in the top right of my banner area as well, and in the about page if you want to check that out. Anyways, since I mentioned that I've only done covers so far, my goal is to actually finish some original songs, because I have way too many of them in a folder in my on my computer that are written. A lot of them have compositions completely done. It's just I've been anxious about actually working on the vocal part, and I kind of need to get over that. So one of my real actual goals when it comes to 2019 is to start to finish some of the original songs and post them on the channel. So that's pretty cool stuff. If you're interested in that, definitely check it out. I believe the channel link is also in the description. If not, I'll put it in the description so you can check that out yourself. Moving on, we're going to talk about Pokemon League play. Something I also mentioned in Sword and Shield is that I wanted to get back into leagues, the draft leagues, because I have missed that. There was a specific reason I left the IBL when I did. It's not for the fault of the commissioner, it's for the fault of two people in that server that are still there, unfortunately. And I don't really, there's nothing more to say about it. My close friends know about it. I haven't really talked to many other people about it. It was a really frustrating thing. There are times where I just think about it randomly, and it really frustrates me again. Anyways, so at the moment, I'm still thinking about I might end up going back to the IBL. We'll see otherwise if I decide to join another league. But as far as I know, the IBL will be Wi-Fi, which is good because that's what I want. And speaking of Wi-Fi, I also want to go into competitive battles again because I've been missing competitive battling as well. And I've been working on some Pokemon on the side that a couple of the Pokemon that I've shiny hunted for will be competitively raised to battle with and such. I'm currently breeding for another one that luckily I got a foreign perfect one of these guys, and I can breed that with my 4IB Ditto that Eric sent me. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But considering my team, I do want unfortunately, because literally more than 400 of the Pokemon in Pokemon have been erased from the game. That means my mascot, the Kansas City Nidoking, as well as the Lehigh Valley Iron Tepig, the Tepig and Nidoking, or two of the 470 Pokemon that were cut entirely from the game and that can't be put in the game. So unfortunately, I feel that I wanted to change my team name because of that, and that was why I'm wearing this shirt, because out with the old, in with the new. I don't have the other logos basically done, but not totally done. So the team name is going to be, I'm gonna move over here, the Kansas City Outrage. So I'm very happy with that logo. I know that Flygon, sorry about that. I know that that Flygon being my channel mascot and being in the new games, I felt like I had to go with that. And obviously Kansas City Flygons, it's not that cool of a name. And I didn't want to change location, so I started thinking about things that related to Flygon and Dragon types, and what I could do to name my team something that would work with Kansas City and sound cool. And then I was thinking originally maybe Kansas City Dragon Claw, because I make it a logo. I'll put this one up here too. Made a logo for the team called the Wichita Dragon Claw, which is a really cool logo. I really like how that one turned out. Obviously featuring Haxorus, which is also in the newest games. And I mean, as much as I love Haxorus, I actually have a Haxorus plushie over there too. I'll go get it. And as much as I love Haxorus, I wanted to go with Flygon for my team. That's about it. I'm excited, because I'm excited to get back into League play, and it'll be fun, I think, to get back into that sort of thing. And I'm excited for another season to start. And I want to win a championship. That is my one goal when it comes to League play, is to win at least one championship. So, and something with leagues is I've always struggled in them, and I'm not totally sure why. You could go back through all my battles and poke out many different things, probably. That I make some stupid risks, take some stupid risks, or I don't think fully through it, or I have a lot of time. Have a hard time prepping for someone else's Pokemon, a set team of Pokemon, because I have definitely a higher win ratio when it comes to just normal Wi-Fi. I had like a 53% win ratio in Wi-Fi battles, and then I'm below 500 when it comes to actual, league battles. But I only made playoffs once, and it was my last season that I did. And I think, right? Or it was the last season I went 4-8. I think the last season I did was 4-8, and that's kind of why I just phased out of the league. And stopped doing the leagues. Didn't participate in the next season. I actually do have an assistant, quote unquote assistant, someone who can help me, and someone who was really good in the first league season that I ever did. I'm 95% sure he made playoffs. I can't remember, with 100% accuracy, but I feel like he did. Your hint is that he was the coach of the Chicago Cloisters. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Anyways, he's going to be helping me with teams when it comes to league matches, so hopefully I can do well. That would be really, really, really nice. Alright, another thing I want to mention is, we were just talking about logos. I'm not going to change any logos right now, but what I want to do is I'm going to be updating the art for the channel. For both channels, actually, for Rio and this one. Now, the picture on my banner where it shows me sitting there, smirking at the camera, and smirking. That was just I don't remember. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but That drawing, I'm going to change that a little bit because that drawing was of me 50 pounds heavier and without a beard and whatnot. And I'm going to adjust how. I'm just going to change things. Because while these have also kind of become part of my image with the, the Fates Customs Rinka little plates, those things are having a little bit of trouble. So either they've fallen or the cords have just like frayed on the inside a little bit. And there are times where I have to keep pressing on this part here, which is the volume label thing. I have to press on like this side here. I should probably just bring it close to the camera because it's a little easier, but I have to keep pressing on this sometimes here in order to get the sound to come into the left one. That's something that happens from time to time. There have been many times where the cords get stuck on my shoe and I end up unplugging it, and that has probably also helped this thing's decay. To be fair, I've had those headphones for a long time. I believe it's going on like 3 years now, because I believe that I had them in 2016. So I've had them for a while, and they've been freaking great headphones, and I'm not actually going to get rid of them. I'm going to hang them on the wall, because I have a bunch of old headphones here too, as well as hats. And there is one pair of headphones specifically that I'm going to replace with those. But the reason I say that is because I ordered new Astros as well, so I'm going to be adjusting that drawing with how I look now, as well as those headphones. And yeah, so that'll be pretty interesting. I'm also going to update the art that's on the far side of it, where those drawings were, because they're not bad, but I have made so many that are so much better since. And speaking of those drawings, I want to get back into doing some speed arts, because there is one specific art thing that I have like in my documents and whatnot that I haven't finished, and it's just been actually sitting there, and I laid out the skeleton for it, but I never ended up working on it, and I want to finish that, and I want to do some other drawings and then record them, and then do the speed up and such. The reason I stopped doing those is because some of the drawings I had been doing took so many hours, because I spent way too long on doing a lot of the cleanup stuff, and I just ended up, since I spent so much time on them, the video files were massive, and it was absurd, and it was really difficult to it wasn't really difficult to do anything with them. It was the fact is that they were just massive files, and I was adverse to that. I think I would have had the space, but I just, for some reason I didn't want to deal with that. But I definitely want to get back into doing more of the speed arts, and I've been doing more art recently because I had to take some classes, because I'm currently majoring in visual art at school, so I've been having to take a few classes, including one of them being drawing, and so I've been getting back into sort of the swing of things and enjoying just the, sometimes the peace of mind and the hard focusedness that I get from just working on a piece of art and such. And that's kind of the way it was with the Sword and Shield combined logos that I made for Sword and Shield series, and I posted on my DeviantArt page, that I literally started working on them even though it was still a ways out from when the actual games were coming out, and I didn't need them yet. But I started working on them, and I just spent all day working on them. And I went to bed really late because I was just working on these images to get them to how I wanted them to be. I'm also incredibly proud with the outcome of them, because I really love graphic art too. That's something that I'm really, really passionate about, and something that I think I'm really good about. And that's actually that ties into also the reason that I left the IBL chat. Speaking of art and graphics and such like that, I want to make it publicly available that I am open for commissions. I'm likely going to do another video just talking about this specifically, but I've done several pieces of art for people in the past when it comes to logos or series layouts or even intros that are animated. And I do all these things for my own channel as well, and I love doing it, and honestly, I've gotten really good at it because of how long I've just been doing it for my own content, for my own videos and my own like layouts and all that jazz, that I've just been working hard on it for my own things. And if you like compare the Alpha Sapphire Wonder Wedlock, if you compare that sidebar to like the sidebar for Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, the Ultra Sun Wonder Wedlock, like the difference in quality is obscene. It's absurd. And the Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, or the Ultra Sun Wonder Wedlock layout and the logo for it are some of my favorite things that I've actually like made logo wise, because they turned out exactly as I wanted them to, and they're fun, they're interesting to look at, and they're just there, and I really like them. And I just like the whole rainbow theme for that series because I felt it fit it. But yeah, so I would definitely do commissions, which means that you pay me for doing a piece of art that you want me to do. And I'll probably post information about this on my DeviantArt as well at some point. That's just because that's where I've been posting some of the art stuff and all that. So, and one final thing I wrote on here, and I feel like there was more that I wanted to talk about, but I don't have it written down and I can't really remember it right this second. But one thing I wanted to talk about is some other games. Now, I don't know what you guys specifically want when it comes to series on this channel. I also don't know necessarily what kind of format that you guys like more. So my question is, do you guys like long running series such as the ones I've been doing, or do you prefer things that are sort of one-off, more highlight heavy, that kind of stuff? Because I'm not totally sure. I don't know if the Rocket League content does bad specifically because it's Rocket League, or if it's because the style of video that it is, and it's not like a series. I love Rocket League. I love playing with Jad when we play Rocket League. We've improved immensely, and you can see that if you go back to some of the beginning videos I did with him, and then you compare them to the most recent ones, and the difference in our play styles and how we've evolved as players. And I love Rocket League for that reason, just because it feels really good when you get better. Those style of videos are highlight based, so it's a several hour recording, and I cut to some of the best parts, some of the best goals, some of the best things that happen during it, and that kind of style. I like watching those kinds of videos. I also like watching longer series from different people. So I just kind of want to know in that sense. And that's actually not what I had written down. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about that I forgot about, and it just came up because I looked at that and I don't know why. But something that I got recently is this. It's like, whoa, a DualShock 4 controller. It's just not really that cool, because you already have this one, the one for the computer. I bought a PS4, so I now have a PS4, and I have several games on it. But one of the reasons I bought it, because I really wanted to play Red Dead 2 for my own sanity, and gosh darn it, Flagon, you're two in the way. I don't know why. I'm just gonna leave him there. But I really wanted to play Red Dead 2 for my own sake, because I saw some videos on that game, and I really liked it, and I really wanted to play it for myself. And I think it's out on PC now, but I don't have the best computer. It's not at all bad. I'm actually, like, for how old some of the parts are, it really still holds up, runs well, and it's able to, record and play Elgato, and all that such. And for the most part, it's able to play a lot of the games that I want to in good quality, without many problems at all. And that's actually a lot due to GeForce and how awesome NVIDIA are about updating even old cards. So I have a 960 in my computer. That's one of the things I really need to upgrade, is to get a better graphics card in that computer. That and a newer gen Ryzen processor, because I have an AMD chipset. So I do want to get another a graphics card and a a new processor. I'll probably need to get a new power supply to support all that stuff. And then maybe some more RAM, because I currently have 16 gigabytes, which is pretty decent. Maybe I'll get more. At the moment, I don't necessarily need it, but we'll see. So I bought a PS4 as well to play some of those games that I want to play that I may or may not have the graphical capability on my computer to play them. And so one of the things I also got the PS4 for, along with, you know, for Red Dead 2, is The Last of Us Part 2, which comes out later this year, and I really love The Last of Us. Frankly, I really do. And I bought, actually, The Last of Us came in the bundle with the PlayStation 4 and 2 other games. God of War and Horizon. So, anyways, but I can now play the first one again. I really want to play the second one. I'm going to play the second one on my own time, no matter what. But another question I wanted to ask you people is, would you like to see The Last of Us 2 on this channel? And or some other PlayStation 4 games that could come out, not just could come out, that are out or whatever, that I could get on PS4 that you'd want me to do a series on. So you can let me know. I will post a poll. I'm going to have a poll for all of the questions that I asked in this episode, and I probably will also put them on the community tab as well. Maybe a straw poll for them, just to make it a little bit easier. Just like to give more people ways to vote. But for everyone, you should be able to click the I button in the top corner, and it should bring down a thing, and it should show all the polls. And yeah, that's really about it. So thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did, appreciate it. It was nice to just sit down and just talk to the camera for a little bit, because I haven't done something like this in a while that hasn't been like an update video, like, you know, sorry that I haven't been posting and such. So I would really like your feedback. That's something that I've also been missing from this channel, is viewer feedback. I get, like, you know, very few comments and you know, very few questions or anything like that when it comes to this channel, and I want to interact with you people. I want to know what you guys would like to see on the channel and what all I should do and such. And the problem is that I don't get a lot of that from you guys, and I don't know if there's any. I don't think there's any fault to put on any one specific person. I just think that that's how it just is, that this channel tends to get less than 1% of the audience watching a given video. So I don't really know. I really love viewer feedback. That's something that I would really like more of, and if you all could oblige, that would be awesome. Because there's some people like Crazy DK who come out in like every Fire Emblem video. That's the sort of thing I really appreciate, is when people interact with the content and tell me things that I might not know, or that I may have forgotten, or that I made a mistake on, and that could be helped out. So yeah, that's about it, everybody. So I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did, appreciated. And yeah, here's to a good 2020, and I'll talk to you all later.